Okay, so the final step for workshop 1 is to select evidence from your sources, and this needs to be done before you can move on to workshop 2. So this is the thing that you would be asked to finish outside of class if you did not finish it during our in-class workshop. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to look through your annotated copies of the sources and find the details that you highlighted that relate to each of the tips that you chose to recommend in your essay. If you have more than 2 details highlighted for any of the tips, then you just want to choose the 2 that give the least similar information, and avoid using 2 that say basically the same thing. That should help you make a selection. If that doesn't help, then you just want to say, you just want to pick the 2 that you have the most to say about, because you do have to provide a thorough explanation of each quote. You want to make sure that you're using details from both sources as long as you picked your tips as you were instructed to on the planning sheet. That should not be a problem for you. That kind of forced you to use both articles. And you're just going to add the details that you select to your plan sheet. You don't have to write the whole quote if you don't want to. You can just write the first 3 words and the last 3 words, with an ellipse in between, and the page number. An ellipse is just the 3 dots. I'm going to go ahead and just put in the whole quote, so I don't have to look it back up again when it's time for me to add this evidence to my essay. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I have my plan sheet. You have your purple paper copy of the plan sheet. I'm going to go ahead and get out my sources. Obviously, I'm using digital versions, but I just scanned in the the paper copies of the articles that I annotated with you guys in class. So I have my plan sheet. I'm going to make it a little bigger here. And I'm just going to go ahead and select my quotes from the article. So you can see my first tip was coming from Article 1, which was 10 ways to improve time management. And my tip was eliminate distractions. So to find quotes about that, all I need to do is scroll down to eliminate distractions. Here it is. And there are 2 things that are highlighted there. So I only really have 2 options. So I'm going to copy both of these options into my planning sheet. So that's where you have to go back to your planning sheets. Okay, and I'm going to find supporting quote 1, found that box, and I'm just going to add my supporting quotes. So to make it a little bit easier on myself and make this video go faster, I have it saved on my clipboard. And another thing I want to note is this is actually the second sentence. But when I look at the content of this, it's telling me what to do. And when I'm thinking about how I want to organize my paragraph, it makes more sense to me to first talk about what to do and then talk about why to do it. So that first detail in the article between cell phone, social media, and friends, that one is actually talking about why you do it. And I want to talk about that second in my paragraph, so I'm going to put that second in my paragraph. So I'm just going to add that for supporting quote 2 and evidence B. All right, so you're just writing this in from your articles onto your paper copy of the sheet, unless for some reason you're having to do this from home without the papers that you were given in class, in which case you'll have to add a text box like I just did, but now I have both my quotes in for paragraph 1. And I'm just going to repeat that process for the rest of the paragraphs. So if I scroll down to tip 2, that I selected from article 2, so that's where I need to switch articles. And then again, I just want to find that tip. And here is where I find choose your food wisely. In this version of the notes, it was rephrased as eat high energy foods, but the same idea works with these details. So choose food wisely. And then I have all of these different quotes that I can choose from that either tell why it helps or what to do. And so I'm going to pick 2 of those and I'm going to add them in for evidence A and evidence B. So I'm going to do that and then I will show you what I did. Okay, so I now have supporting quotes in from Article 2. I decided to use one quote that told what to do, and then this quote is the second quote is a blend of what to do and why to do it. But I think it's a nice balance to have a quote that tells what to do and a quote that tells why to do it in each paragraph. So that's kind of how I'm trying to select my quotes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for Article 3, and then I will be completely done with my planning sheet and done with all of the workshop 1 tasks. So I will see you next time.